Welcome to Fox 8 Extra. I'm Stefani Schaefer, and so grateful you're with us today. So today's guest walked into the doors of Fox 8 back in September of 1980, and he never left. For 41 amazing years, he has covered every sports story in Cleveland. The good, the bad, the not so good, the ugly. He retired in 2022, but we never really let him retire. He still comes around every Friday for Friday Night Touchdown, and when I call him for the weekend and say, come on, brother, I need you on this show. How are you?
I'm doing great. So good to be with you.
John Telich.
It's so wonderful when I walk back into this building and see all the old gang. Because since I retired, other than I haven't worn makeup in 3 years.
Little foundation or powder you guys will stick on.
I do wear pumps and a bra once in a while. I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
And that's fine if you do.
Cooling things off here. But, you know, it's just great to be in the building to see everybody.
Oh, we love you. I call him my brother. We met even before I started at Fox 8. So we can't even say, like, hey, we met when 33 years ago. We met longer than that.
Yeah.
Long time.
One of my former colleagues, Tana Carley, was getting married, and it was down in Alliance, and I met this young gal. Came up, can I have a picture with you?
Yeah,
guys?
I know. I was going to say, I know I asked for your autograph and a picture.
So it was cute. It was very cute to meet you. And all these years later, we've been friends. And I've seen you do so great in your career. And it's just been a joy to, again, get back in the building and to see so many of my buddies that I've worked with. Everybody.
Likewise. Well, I've always looked up to you. Tana is my mom's first cousin, so we were at her wedding. And yeah, I remember seeing all the people that I grew up watching on TV. And then I got to, get pictures and autographs. Never, ever did I dream that then I'd be working with you.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing, too, for me as a kid. You know, growing up and watching all these sports icons on television and then watching Channel 8 News, and then I'm working with, you know, Dick Goddard, and I get a chance to work with the likes of Tim Taylor and Judd Hambrick way back in the day, Jim Mueller. So a great thrill.
I mean, and that's what's so special about our station, because we say, like, most of us grew up here. Yeah. Watching Channel 8 and then working here, it takes on a whole different level of pride, doesn't it?
Yeah,
for us.
You know, they did start the campaign years ago. Cleveland's Own It. It's really
Virgil Dominic,
right? Virgil did, and it's a state of mind. And you know, I still remember the first day I walked into the building. You know, 1980, 27 years of age. I'm in the big time. I'm in my hometown. I'm going to cover my home teams, and it was a big thrill. But it was also, I knew that I was in a spot that was very credible and did the news the right way, and I wanted to make sure I set myself up to be successful in that way. And that's what I tried to do each and every day when I walked into this building, to, you know, tell the stories the right way, let people make up their own minds, not be someone to say it should be this or should be that, just kind of go down the middle of the road and give them the facts and let them enjoy it. But boy, I had some crazy stuff I covered.
I know you did, and I know, yes, you could just give us the facts, but also your heart was in this too, because these are teams that you grew up as a fan, and I think, especially for sports and even news, when we cover these stories, like, you understand, and what's going on now, say with the Browns, with the Dome, you know that it's not just a dome. It's a city that we have these fans that we're all vested in this one way or another. So it's not just necessarily a story, and these championships and that you got to cover with the Cavs, and even when any of our teams are doing good and not doing good. I mean, right now we're soaking up the heyday of our Cavs. What a great year, and that's been great. So you understand all of that stuff. But since retiring, you have to tell us what you're up to.
Well, I have been really active with just stuff around the community, which has been a big joy for me. You know, local church, with the Greater Cleveland Sports Hall of Fame, which I've been on the board for several years now.
You do a great job with that, too, by the way.
I absolutely love it, and we are building a Hall of Fame. It is going up on the near west side near the Urban Community School, and it's going to be a spectacular place, and we're now in the throes of just kind of getting things resolved in terms of like all the different effects that you'll be able to take part in. If you walk in there, there'll be chances for you to like be Tom Hamilton or Jim Donovan and make your own call. There will be obviously exhibits for all the great athletes. So I'm really enjoying that. But the best thing I think has been getting a chance just to enjoy my friends and enjoy our neighbors. I work so much and worked the weirdest hours and a lot of long days and what have you. And I always had a default answer. If they invite us to something, it was usually, well, JT's going to be working, can't go. And now it's great to have a chance to go and visit with our friends and do a little traveling with the bride. That's been the best thing of my life, is being with the bride.
Best thing in your life, yes, is the bride,
Yep.
Jane. She
Yep.
is the cutest thing. How is she?
She's doing great. We are getting ready to go on a trip, which we, have had a chance to do a couple of times in the last few years. So get a little bit more out and see the world and what have you. So we're excited about that. But she every day, I know that she's the bride and she's the boss. You were talking on one of your episodes with Joe Toohey about his ability to be man around the house and fix stuff. Our man around the house is the bride. It's our man. She's under there putting in a disposal in the kitchen. And
I love her. That's great. Yeah.
So that is not me.
Disposal. They scare me though, but I did it because.
So then you and her are birds of a feather.
Are you still running? Are you still doing your marathons and all of that
I've got my
stuff?
dog, my dog Scarlett. She's 12 years old now. And she's had a tough couple of years. She had a cancerous thing on one of her pads 3 years ago that we had removed, and then she had some surgery about 3 months ago. And she's a champ. She's recovered from that. She's doing great. So we get out and run almost every.
She runs with
She
you.
runs. She's been running since she was like 5 months old, years ago. She just loves. I'm out in the trails a lot, and that's usually where we go. You can count on us being on the trails 5 to 6 days a week. And it's good for her. She just absolutely loves to run. It's crazy.
And you've been running through the winter?
Been running through the winter and then, going to the Y, getting a workout in other ways as much as possible. Still do some races, not as crazy as I used to be, but
How many races have you done?
Oh my God, when I was doing triathlons, I did probably more than 100 triathlons.
Oh my God.
And I ran a bunch of marathons, and then since I got into ultra marathons, past a marathon distance.
What is an...
Can you tell what an ultra marathon is? Because I feel like a lot of
An
people
ultra
don't even-
marathon is anything beyond 26 miles. So the next jump up is 31 miles, which is 50K, 50 kilometers. So I've done a bunch of 50K races. I've run in 100-mile races where you have like 30 hours, you're running on trails, and you have 30 hours in aid stations that you have to go through every 5 miles or so to get your hydration, to get your sustenance, if you will. And so I continued to compete in those. But
That's amazing.
getting
So you
older,
do this all voluntarily, not that there's a bear chasing you or
Yeah,
anything,
exactly.
right? You actually sign up to do that.
Well, you know what? I'm quite a spiritual creature in some ways, and I think this is another way for me to connect with all the great things that our Lord has given us, and that's the outdoors, and that's being, on these trails with my dog, or maybe with friends, just enjoying a nice
And
run.
Jane works out too.
And Jane was a fitness professional for many years.
Yeah.
And so in our retirement years, she's very active. And again, I don't mess with her. She's the boss of the house.
While we're talking about volunteering, I want to say about JT.
Yeah.
We had a Fox 8 volunteer day one day, and we were at the food bank. He just happened to be there. This has been since his retirement, and it's clear he goes all the time. Wherever you volunteer in Northeast Ohio, odds are you will see this man. He gives his time.
Even our station events.
I enjoy it.
When he would work nights, he would be here. We would be on the morning show and doing cut-ins at, say, if it's any of our drives to help kids with the school supplies, or of course their toys at Christmas time, whatever. Even when we were doing the drive for Haiti when they had the hurricane. This goes back forever. You will come, get out of bed early when you still have to work at night to be here to help us support this stuff in the early hours.
Well, it's, I think, the way I was raised, my mom and dad, they were all about the community of Euclid. They were born and raised in Euclid. They went to high school. They went from first grade to high school together, and their whole life was in Euclid, Ohio. So, and they were known as individuals that, gave back to the community. So they laid the foundation, and my grandfather, my grandparents before them, the same way. So I always believed that, you joke about, lifting weights or getting stronger. I feel the strongest when I'm lifting somebody else up, and I think that's being in the service of others.
Okay.
Genuine person. will ever meet. Like, I can honestly say that.
It is so true. I mean,
of anybody I've ever worked with, he is probably the most genuine.
and truly, like, it's funny because I always say I want this show to make people happy. It airs on the weekends. I want it to not be a heavy show. I want them to feel included in our show, and I want you to feel happy. And if that doesn't just make you feel happy,
well,
and warm your heart, that's you are.
It's cute of you to say that, although I do get a lot of grief from Lou Maglio. Hi, Lou, love you.
Oh, Lou, we'll have you on the hot seat next show.
Because Lou will do the whole shtick about John as the dumbest man in broadcasting. It's a whole shtick. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just fun. So if you hear Lou hitting me up in that regard, or saying, "Oh, there's JT with his carefully crafted persona."
Oh my gosh, Lou! He's a stinker.
What does he say? The second grade was the best 5 years of John Telich's life.
If someone new walks into the building, Sissy, they will be treated to 5 minutes of Lou doing this shtick about me not being very intelligent.
He's been retired for 3 years. Let the
leave him alone.
Get a new victim. Nope, it's still JT because everybody knows.
So that's just how the man is, and he's always getting one over on me. But again, I respect, love Lou Maglio. We've known each other actually since I worked in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, like a year or two before Lou did.
Oh, I didn't
and
know that.
Our careers kind of got us to this point in time where we worked all these years here in Cleveland.
And that again is why I love being a part of this station, and because we all are so intertwined in some way. And even if like the morning show and night people don't get to see each other that often, we do always have these great special bonds in the happy times and the sad times where we need some support.
Right.
We have great people here, and I think the folks who have done the hiring over the last 50 years has really looked into account and all of that. And it is a requirement that we must all have animals. Right? I mean, we all are animal lovers. I mean, I don't know if that just happens, but I think that's interesting.
No, but Virgil was the man that started or elevated the careers of a lot of people in this building, and I learned so much from Virgil. And he was a great mentor, but he was the type of a man that would give you sound advice, but give you an opportunity to even do better than what you were doing without demeaning you. And I think leadership, more and more leadership that we have around needs to take that type of tact rather than other ways.
Yeah, so Virgil's been amazing. 90 years old,
90 plus,
and we all just saw him at the Tim Taylor roast again. He's so special and really had a lot to do with our careers.
Yes, he did.
No doubt. We're going to take a short little break, but we'll be right back with John Telich. Stay close. Welcome back. We are here with the legendary John Telich, JT, as we all like to call him here at Fox 8. He's such a wonderful expert. We've been catching up and seeing what he's been up to in his retirement. Can't really call it that because you're still a big part of Fox 8 with Friday Night Touchdown and such. But your retirement show and party here at Fox 8 was really amazing because you forget since 1980 the incredible stories that you have covered.
Yes. I'll tell you what, Sissy, when I got into the building, I thought it was the year of the cardiac kids. 1980.
Brian Sipe,
Brian Sipe, they won Sam Reticular, they won every game in the last seconds. I thought, wow, this is going to be a piece of cake covering this team all these years. Little did I know that would be, up and down. But that first year was just incredible. But with all the great stories that we've had in Cleveland, there's always a few heartbreaks that come with it. Like the cardiac kids gave you Red Right 88, where they lost to the Raiders. The great teams of the 80s, mid-80s with Bernie and company would give you double overtime excitement, beating the New York Jets. The next week, John Elway would have the drive and would beat the Browns. So, so many great memories. My gosh, to watch the Indians for the first time get to the World Series in 1995, to have that new ballpark that rejuvenated our downtown area and the arena as well. Every time I turned around, there was something great. But I always thought the great memories for me would be championships and wins, but it was more about the stories of the people and the people that I met. The Katie Moons, young woman from Olmsted Falls who goes on to win Olympic gold as in the pole vault here.
Gosh,
and
she's amazing.
She's
athlete.
amazing. She's fantastic. I love her.
Stipe, you know,
Stipe.
like, I
yeah.
mean, my gosh, we do have these. It's great to see these team sports doing so well, but what incredible individual athletes! Not to mention, too, some incredible local young people too. And
Right.
I know with the Sports Commission, they honor them every year, but a lot of young high school athletes that have gone on
Sure.
to do amazing things.
It's been really cool all these years to see someone before they become, to be at a Cleveland Heights High School football game and seeing the coach yelling at Travis because Travis Kelce wasn't making the right play as the quarterback, but then years later he's a Super Bowl champ and he becomes what he is. To see, you know, obviously Bernie Kosar is a youngster, Mitch Trubisky.
Watching a young LeBron James
LeBron is the
that
biggest
I remember
example.
Us covering him all the time,
Yep.
and
High
this
school.
kid out of Akron.
Yes, the kid out of Akron. When LeBron, you know, my career is kind of broken in half. Pre-LeBron and post-LeBron. Seriously. Like 1999 is when he became known because he was ninth grader, was becoming very popular. They're winning championships already. And then the internet and the way sports is covered changed from about LeBron's inception into our mind's eyes. And then since then, it's been different. Before then, it was two different dynamics.
That's interesting.
And it's been kind of
Yeah.
cool to cover the pre-LeBron era and then how LeBron has represented Cleveland, what he's done, came back and got the championship, which was, you know, when he made the block and when Kyrie made the shot, I was doing my job. I was standing outside the locker room in Oakland waiting to go in. I watched that on a monitor this big because my job that night was to get the interviews in the locker room and I had to be queued up and ready to go. And I oftentimes thought it would have been cool to be out by the court, but it would have been really cool to be here in Cleveland amongst all the Clevelanders celebrating the championship.
But really cool, you're in the locker room
right
and
there.
waiting for them. So then what was that like?
Well, it was, first, when you walked in, there was about this much champagne on the floor, you know.
So if anyone had a straw, that would be a good time. Because you know that was nice flowing champagne.
Yeah, it was, you know, one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments. A lot of people get a chance to experience those far more regularly than we do in Cleveland. But when it happens, we appreciate it
more.
Exactly, 100%.
So were you overjoyed with emotion? Like, were you in shock? Like, what were you?
Well, I've always
experiencing
been in reporter mode and, you know, commentator mode. So I didn't allow that to, you know, not until afterwards. I'd finished all my late night live shots that night. Very
with
late,
us all night long.
With you guys, and then I had to get up early.
We came in and worked all night, and we're with you.
And I was you know, I decompressed with a couple of media friends, and it was like, wow, they actually did it. You know, it was very cool. And again, I appreciated so much. But, you know,
and then to come home with the parade, because
the parade was the
I
best.
remember specifically, like, we passed the baton to you guys because we covered it, Wayne and I, in the morning, and then you guys came to our our home base that was there. Because I remember I was like, I have a phone charger for them. I remember I handed you my phone charger. We were using those for our IFBs. Like, it was just crazy. We're kind of winging it because we had not really planned on having the parade.
Well, you know, Cleveland doesn't get much practice in those types of things. We need more practice, so get with it, you guys.
Hey, that's
Come on.
Right. We need more champions. What's it like? I've always thought that because I see you reporting and had when I was growing up and then watching you and working with you, because you're outside a lot after games and it's win or lose. It's all of our teams.
Sure.
You have happy fans behind you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have
belligerent fans?
Yes, and unhappy fans. So, like, what's that like? Because now you're trying to listen to us back at home base, or listen to the producer saying, like, wrap it up, or this is the video, or these are the highlights, or whatever.
Right.
Then you've got the whole thing of wild fans behind you.
Yeah. They're excited. They've wanted, you know, them to be successful, whether it's a great win in the World Series for the Indians one year or whatever. They're as excited as can be. And I know the producers and the directors are worried more about something being said and what have you. So you have to keep that in mind. But it's, you just kind of gather yourself to get your thoughts collected so that you can ad-lib what happened. You're really not reading off a script. You're going with emotion of the moment, and you're just describing what was going on. One of my biggest influences when I was a kid was the great Jim McKay. He was the voice of ABC Sports. He was there in Munich, Germany when the terrorists killed those athletes, and he's been able to set the scene and give the stories no matter whether there were some guy falling on his butt down a ski slope and tumbling off the mountainside, or a tragedy in the Olympics, or a team winning a gold medal. And I always took that upon myself to be in the moment as best as possible. I live by this saying from Voltaire, paradise is where you are. I'm in paradise right now. I'm talking to my buddy, Carrie over here, Tim over there. We're having a good time. And so, you know, don't lose yourself. Stay in the moment as best as possible. We all worry about what happened before us. I mean, we all kvetch about what's going to go in the future. Just try to stay present, enjoy where you are. And that's what you're doing as a reporter. You're reporting what's going on while it's going on.
Well, you are such a true professional, and every time any situation that's happened that you've been involved with on the air and off the air, you've always just risen to every amazing occasion. And that's why I think Carrie and I could sit here and just cry our eyes out when we were so happy that you said you'd come here, because we both genuinely love you so much. I mean, to know you is to love you. I was recently on, my mom and I went to Florida for a family reunion, and we were in the airport, and the people next to us, because our flight was delayed, they said, "Do you guys know John Telich?" And my mom goes, "I love him so much." She starts chit-chatting. It was so cute. I mean, my mom's had the opportunity to meet you a few times, and you are just really amazing. That was the couple that you guys went to each other's weddings, your best friends. They are the sweetest things.
They absolutely are. Yeah.
We had a JT 3-hour layover love fest on you. They're so sweet. They're a very sweet couple.
Yeah, I've really been blessed to have so many cool people in my life. And again, each time you run into somebody, it's a chance to make a new friend. And if someone's being belligerent towards me or my colleagues, I usually just kill them with kindness, and they eventually win over towards our side.
For sure.
Not our ideologies or anything, just to being, you know, it's the golden rule. My mom taught me the golden rule. Just, you know, do unto others as you would have they do unto you. And I think that's just the number one thing that you got to live by.
And that leads us to kindness, happiness. What are the 3 things that make you happiest?
Well, my bride, first and foremost. I mean, we met on a blind date at Ashland College a million years ago. We're going to be 49 years this summer. Wow. And she's the sun. I'm one of the planets. And so she always makes me happy. She's a wonderful, tough woman, super loving, great mom, great friend, and doesn't take any BS from anybody.
She's awesome. We love you, Jane.
She absolutely is the best. And so that's number one. Yep. Strong faith, which I try not to, wear on my sleeve or be outwardly, boisterous about, but just live that kind of a life. So that gives me tons of happiness. And then I enjoy just being around my friends or having a chance to, whether it's watching a sporting event or maybe just watching some TV show or streamed show or whatever, and enjoy a good story. Those are 3 things that would keep me going. And I've been blessed, grew up in a family with 4 great siblings, great childhood, where the family really felt together. They wanted to know about each other. And I worry about it today because there's just so much fractioning going on with social media, making kids have different opinions of themselves, not really genuine. So that's stuff that kind of worries me. But those would be, I'd say, 3 things that really get me going.
JT, you make all of us happy. Oh. You are just, and our viewers would all say that at home too. You are a special guy, and we're blessed and grateful to have you as part of our family.
All right,
and
sis.
I know he officially retired a few years ago, but we're not letting him retire. You'll be doing Friday Night Touchdown.
Friday Night Touchdown, and we're getting excited for the Hall of Fame that's being built on the Near West Side. So we have so many things going on here in Northeast Ohio. A lot of stuff to be thankful for.
God bless you.
You bet.
We love you.
Thanks. You
all
too.
Right. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.